Hi, I'm Jim Riley, and welcome to All the Right Connections. And we're going to open today with my favorite guest, James Reynolds, President of Hudson Cablevision. How are you?
Jim, fine. It's always a pleasure.
Well, I did, just before we went on.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Well, and you just did just tell me to stop raining, and that's good.
Are you sure it stopped raining?
Well, it's been devastating. It's been terrible, and to be a little more serious about it, we've had such tremendous negative effect out of Hurricane Irene. Tell us what it's been like for your company, James.
Well, Jim, you know, we thought we, like everyone else, heard all the dire forecasts and you know, the projections for high wind and, you know, heavy rain but I don't think anyone really imagined the terrible flooding and the impact of the storm. I mean, for us, you know, we had, you know, some lines down and some poles got taken down, and you know, a number of our customers were affected negatively. But we just, you know, wanted to do everything we could for the communities that were so devastated, especially up on the mountaintop. I mean, the incredible flooding up there is just, you know, never seen anything like it.
Yeah, and the scope of your system. I mean, you start here in Columbia County, go through most of Greene County up to the mountaintop, and even some of Albany County. So it really had to be difficult for your crews.
Yeah, we go we span all the way out to the west to Prattsville, up through Windham and Ashland, that whole area. And there was just devastating floods. In some cases, you know, there were several days before you could even get in there because the National Guard and other, you know, emergency workers were up there, and the roads, I think, were just impassable.
Yeah.
So,
but somehow your crews managed to get out there and do the work. You're awfully proud of them, aren't you?
well, you know, we, I believe, pulled together as a company, and you know, everyone, you know, not just the outside technical workers who performed, you know, amazing feats. And you know, just as an example, when you know, storms hit our system and our service goes out, oftentimes it's because of commercial power. It's not necessarily that lines are pulled down. If trees come down and take lines down, that of course knocks the service out, but oftentimes it's the loss of commercial power. So we might have a situation where you know, a portion of our system is out because it's fed by, you know, the power company from a different location, and yet a customer over on the other side of this this distribution node, he may have electricity, so he's wondering, why isn't my cable on? In those circumstances, we actually, in this storm and in previous storms, we have portable generators that we will go out and actually plug in and maintain to try to keep service on to as many people as possible until commercial power is restored, because we're not able to go in until they you know, if a power lines or anything like that is down, we're not allowed in there until that's fixed.
Right. Let me share with you. I do have some pieces here. I was very thrilled to look through these. We have comments from some of your customers who were affected and impacted, and then had something to say to you about that. First one, we want to say thank you, big letters, thank you, for restoring our cable, phone, and internet service in such a short amount of time following Hurricane Irene and her aftermath. We appreciate the efforts of your entire workforce. Thanks again. That's something you feel very good about.
Well,
I think.
It just points out that that, you know, services like the television service, entertainment services, information services, people want to know. They want the local news. They want the local weather. They want to know what's going on. And you know, if you're in the middle of, you know, a hurricane, and you're not sure which direction that's going, how much longer it's going to last, it just adds to the anxiety. And in addition to that, keeping, the internet connection that we provide on allows them, a whole world of possibilities for gathering information, for communicating to loved ones, and keeping up with what's going on. So they're really important services, and to the degree we can keep them on in the midst of, a major weather event, then that's very important, and we take that very seriously.
Well, I think you and I have talked about it many times on this program. The key element of service that you provide. It isn't just what they can purchase in the way of services over the air and the internet, but that personal service that your staff provides is terribly important, isn't it?
Yeah. But I do think that it's also, because most of the people that work for our company live in the communities that we serve,
right,
there's a real connection with the communities, and there's a commitment to really stay the course and to get things done as quickly as possible, so that, in some cases, I heard in other areas where the storm hit that people were without power for a week or 10 days, and that's a terrible situation for family. So we worked as hard, our staff worked as hard as possible from early morning until after dark, trying to restore things, and I think they did a great job.
They did. I have one here I think is really very interesting. I want to share this with you, James. It's a bit verbose, so stay with me. It's a bit lengthy, but I think it's important to share that with the folks out there. I'm in a hurricane area affected by Albany County, which is served by Mid-Hudson Cable. Power has been out since early Sunday morning, and it's been difficult to say the least. I received a generator last night that can power a few appliances, and after the fourth night of tossing around trying to sleep, I decided I'd plug in my TV and DVD player and watch a movie. When I plugged in the TV at around midnight, I was confused for several minutes when I saw a picture. I began flipping through channels and finally realized that I was seeing cable. I hadn't even plugged in the DVD player, but was unable to reconcile that the cable was back on. Maybe this sounds trite, but I want to tell you that moment gave me a bit of sense of hope that things will return to normal. I turned to a PBS station where a man was painting a pastoral watercolor with melodic background music and promptly fell into the only sleep I'd had in 4 nights. Thank you. That says it very well, I think.
Yeah, I saw that. The exhaustion from not having power, having to worry about the impact of the storm and trying to get things back to normal, and it's the simple things that really make a difference. And I thought that was really a poignant way to describe how people felt about getting the service restored, because it really allows them to recover, helps them recover. They've got so much work to do in other areas, so just having those simple communication services are very important.
I think the thing that's really interesting about this entire disaster that we experienced is it also reminds us of what we've talked about many times in this program, and that is families are oriented towards their home now for entertainment, whether it's the internet, whether it's cable TV with high definition and the rest. But that can really bring back a sense of normalcy when you can access that and have it. And that's what your crews provided to the customers out there.
Yeah, and I think it's important to point out that when events like this happen, I mean, a couple years ago we had an ice storm that was just unpredicted, and it sat over the area and it coated lines and it pulled trees down, took power out. In those situations, our customers should know that we have people that are monitoring the situation very carefully. We're in touch with the power companies. We're in touch with all of the emergency monitoring groups to make sure if they declare a state of emergency and they don't allow vehicles out, we have to comply with that kind of a situation. But our first goal is to figure out where the problems are, and then to work to restore service to the greatest number of customers at the earliest possible time. We know that there are isolated instances where a tree came down and somebody's drop is down that's affecting one person, and they're important to us. But in terms of a triage approach, our technical staff are looking at the system, all of the electronics, and we're trying to figure out how can we restore service to the greatest number of people at the earliest possible time. And that's the way we approach these things.
And that's the way it has to be done.
Right.
Let me see if I can find one more, because I've enjoyed these.
Yeah.
Because I think it really emphasizes what I've been saying for many, many years, and that is service is so terribly important. And let's do this one.
Okay.
This is good. We're above Medusa. Now, Medusa's out in some of the farther reaches behind Greenville and out in that area.
Right.
High up in the hills. We'd just like to thank the crews that you sent up here right after the storm and in the following days. It's rare these days to find people as considerate and caring about our outage. They were the greatest. Please feel free to use us as a customer reference anytime. Please make sure the folks in charge get to see this on behalf of all those guys. Again, many thanks to Mid-Hudson Cable crews.
Well, it's always great to have positive feedback like that, and it really points out another, very, important point, and that is that in situations like this, often our staff, technical guys, they're out in conditions that are pretty dangerous. You've got an environment where you've got, weather affecting, what you're trying to do. Our facilities are up attached to utility poles, and you've got situations where there may be power lines that have not been reconnected, and yet, they're willing to go into this kind of an environment with the single goal of trying to restore the service. And so a lot of credit goes to them for their devotion to that goal.
Yeah, I always believe it starts from the top, and that's why I've always appreciated what you've done through your company to serve the public. Now, as we talk about it, we're going to take a break for a little bit, and then we're going to talk about some other things your company's been doing in the way of a food drive, also reflective of what we've just experienced with that disaster with Irene. So if you come right back after a few messages, we'll continue our discussions with James Reynolds. Welcome back. James, we have a friend with us.
We do.
Rhonda Margiasso. She and I have been close for years. We like Rhonda a lot. She's our marketing coordinator.
Correct.
She has a lot of titles, but we're going to use, because I like that one, marketing coordinator. So nice of you to join us. Thank you.
Nice to see you, Jim.
We were talking about service, and we talked about all the things you've been doing for the community post Irene, but there's other things that you do on an ongoing basis. James, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, last year, we became aware of the fact that throughout our service area, Columbia, Greene, and southern Albany counties, there's, because of the weak economy and the recession, that there was a real need in terms of families being hungry, and the food pantries that provide service to the needy and throughout our region were really struggling because the demand exceeded their capacity to provide that service. And we thought that we would try to get some attention, draw some attention to that and organize. And so several people on our staff, Rhonda was involved in helping to organize the program last year. We organized a food drive and collected a bunch of food and had some relationships with Price Chopper and other stores that helped us get collections. And at the end, we gathered all the food together, and the food pantries came down and loaded up their vehicles with a bunch of food. And it was a very successful event. Clearly, there's a need for more. And so we were hoping and planning to do this anyway, and then along comes Irene, and of course creates a situation where the need is that much greater. And so we had this already underway when the hurricane hit, but we're going to proceed ahead with this because we know this year, more than any other year, because of what happened, there's a real need out there, and we're hoping that we can generate some interest and get additional businesses and individuals, whatever somebody can do. We just want to highlight the fact that it's a very real need where children and families are going hungry, and by helping these pantries, you're helping to feed those people.
Very important. Rhonda, give us a little background, because you're saying you did well last year and you were happy with that.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and then where you're at for this year.
Okay. Well, our food drive last year, we ran for 1 month's time. And we found that there was such a need with the food pantries. They were telling us they were already out of food, that they weren't going to have the food for the people that they needed to feed at the Thanksgiving time frame and the holidays.
Right.
So this year we decided to back it up and do it a month earlier. So we started September 12th, and we're ending on October 27th. Right. And we are doing this in association. We're working with Price Chopper in Catskill and ShopRite in Hudson.
Nice.
And they have actually carts out there collecting non-perishable food items for us and collecting them, and we pick them up from them and do what we need to do to be able to distribute to the food pantries. We have a one-day event at each grocery store. We did this last year. We set up about 11 o'clock, and we run from 11 o'clock to about 7 o'clock at night, get the noontime rush and the dinner rush of people that are coming into the supermarket. And
when you say we, you're talking about staff from Mid-Hudson Cable.
Yeah,
Division,
staff.
Right?
And we hand out lists that we get from the food pantries, specifically of the food that they need that helps feed the people.
Oh, I like that idea. Yeah,
right,
that's
the food that goes the farthest.
Right.
So we hand those out and greet people as they come into the store, and then they put their food in the carts at the end. And last year we did well with that. Also, Mid-Hudson starts this whole food drive off with a donation from the company. James donates $5,000 to start the food drive off.
Just to start it.
Right.
That's such a good idea. James, whenever you do a project like this, if you don't have a jumping off point, if you don't have, it is overwhelming to get up to a point where it then can become significant. So I think that's terribly important to make that donation.
Well, the important message, though, is that it really needs to be a community event, because there's so much need that whoever else that we can get to join in on this and to participate, it would really be critical, because these people that run these pantries really do amazing work, and if we can get the food to them, they're going to feed the people.
Right. I think that's a good point, Rhonda. I just want to interrupt because I'm getting excited about this now, because we really are talking about getting additional corporate partners in this. We're also talking about civic organizations. We were talking before we went on the air that like Rotary, Kiwanis, any of those organizations really should be in contact with Mid-Hudson Cable to just join this effort. It would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yes, and we have put the word out there through, we've put inserts in the Bank of Greene County checking account statements to individuals as well as corporations. We've done things through the Greene County Chamber, the Columbia County Chamber, asking them, for a donation. We do these little cans of hope at our office, something like MDA does with booties and the...
I don't know if we can get this. I'm going to hold it up just to see if they can get a shot of that.
So if anyone feels that they want to make a free will donation, we put their name on it and we hang it up in our window, and our goal is to cover our windows with these little cans of hope.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
That helps bring a little bit more in, where we can purchase food and also provide money to the food pantries where they can purchase food, because they can purchase food a lot less than, for a lot less than we can, and get a lot more for their money.
Good.
To
I'm
feed
going to
people.
keep this can. I'll make a donation after we get off the air.
I think that's really one of the most critical pieces of this whole effort, and it's wonderful to collect donations of food at the supermarket and wherever we can collect it, and then to give it to the pantries. But they really, the people that run these pantries, they really know what food they need and because they're serving meals every day.
Right.
And they know what can go the farthest, what can feed the most people. So getting them money to purchase the things that they know will go the furthest is really the ultimate goal.
Right. Ron, let me ask you, if somebody wanted to make a donation, who do they contact at the office?
They can contact me. My extension is 8150. They can send in a check, Mid-Hudson Cable Food Drive, and then we'll go ahead and cash that. And
what's
put it
that
into
address if they're going to send it?
P.O. Box 399, Catskill, New York 12414.
Okay.
And they can just send it to the cable office. They can put a check in with their payment.
Sure.
They can do that.
Oh, that's a nice idea. You could include a check for a donation with your cable bill with a payment. Oh, I think that's a very good idea as well.
Yeah.
All right, give us a little more information, Rhonda. This is good.
Well, just to go back to what the food pantries can do with the money that they receive. An example is that they can buy 16 cents a pound for a pound of food. So if they were to buy 10 pounds of food, they've only spent $1.60, and that's a lot of food.
So they can be much more efficient. That's
It
what you
goes
were
a lot
saying
farther.
earlier. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
and-
lot farther, yeah.
Right, and they can follow the USDA guidelines, the foods provided by the USDA. There's a lot of ways that they can make that money go far.
Yeah, I like USDA because, again, we're talking about nutrition as well. We want to be as responsible with this as we can be. I think that's very important.
Right.
And one thing that they've asked this year that we kind of lit on a little bit last year, but we didn't know that there was such a need, but they need things like healthcare things, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and diapers.
Okay.
Those are some of the things that they've mentioned to us.
Particularly this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes,
Okay.
there's a great demand this year. We are very thankful for the donations we've received so far. We're pretty much into our 4th week, but every week at the office we have a big grocery cart. I've emptied that once a week. And in comparison to last year, that's like threefold.
Yeah,
And
you
we
think
want to
you're
thank
way
every
ahead.
of our
Oh,
one of our
certainly.
subscribers that are taking that effort to bring the food in. A little personal experience I had when I was setting up the grocery cart at Price Chopper in Catskill. Our ads went out a little early. And I was there on I think it was a Tuesday instead of a Monday. And there was a woman that came in, she goes, "I've been waiting for you." She says, "I have a bag of food in the car and I've been waiting for you." She went right out and got the bag and donated it. Not necessarily do they have to purchase it from the grocery store.
Right.
They can bring it in, and put it in,
That's
in
wonderful.
the cart.
What a wonderful statement. But James, you were saying that about a community effort, and that's certainly indicative of that notion, I think.
Right. I think it's really a responsibility, for a business that operates within a certain area, that there needs to be some sort of a path to give back to the community. And so, as we become aware of situations, we're hoping to try to do what we can to assist people that are in need.
Right. Now, Ron, I want you to do a couple things for me. One, give me again the phone number if they want to make a donation. Let's have that first.
I'll use our 800 number.
Yeah.
800-342-5400. My extension's 8150.
Okay. If they want to mail something to you,
They can mail it to, make their check payable to Mid-Hudson Cable Food Drive, and then care of the cable office, P.O. Box 399, Catskill 12414.
or they can include it in their monthly payment of the bill.
Right.
Good. Okay. I wanted to get that done. I cut you off, and I apologize for that. Do you have something else you wanted to share with us?
No,
Look at her
I
notes.
just
She comes all prepared,
again-
James. That's why you're the marketing director. That's why.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for the support. Welcome the businesses to contact us and provide additional support. You know, we could make this so much better with the support of local businesses.
And organizations and individuals.
And, yeah.
Very important. Now, James, if you don't mind, I hope you're not offended by this. Let's do a little business for the company, Rhonda,
Okay.
because we're doing what we can for the community, as we should, as James says we should. What have you got coming in the way of specials around the holidays that people can take advantage of with the company for their services?
All right, well, we currently have a fall special going on. We were running it in September. We're continuing it through the end of October. You can pay $29.95 a month for high-speed internet if you are a first-time subscriber with that service, and lock in for a year. Okay. We also have an upgrade opportunity. You can upgrade to any of our services, pay for 90 days, get 90 days.
That's nice. I like that. 90 days and 90 days free.
Right.
Great.
And we also have some promos centered around our movies. We are going to be doing a movie gift certificate offer that's starting on the 24th of October, where it's buy 5 movies for $9.95.
Right.
And another thing that is nice that goes along with that we have had going on since July is our movie club, where if you purchase 3 movies, you get 1, and it goes via a rebate form, which is on our website. And if anybody needs a rebate form, they can call into the office. We can mail it to them. So there's a lot of opportunities to purchase movies at quite a discount.
Nice.
And during the holidays, it's nice to sit around with the family and watch a
Yes,
movie.
it is.
So video on demand, the people that use that service will get a break because as they buy movies, they'll get additional movies free.
Great.
Right.
Again, I hope you don't mind, but we're providing a lot for the community, and we should. But I think also it's important to know that there are some opportunities. Those
Absolutely.
who have the services to get a bargain as
And
well.
our website is a great source. Just www.mhcable.com, and we have our promos on the front screen of our website. It's a wealth of information.
I trust there's a hologram of James in there waving to his customer. Oh, all right. Well, you never know. You think you might want to do that. James, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to come on and to talk about the efforts to restore service after the devastating storm, particularly for the communities that suffered such terrible damage, and that to just say to all of our customers that we remain committed, and we know this is probably not the last weather event we're going to have to face, but we are going to redouble our efforts and remain prepared to respond to the next one.
Yeah.
So,
James, thank you very much. I want to thank our guests, James Reynolds, President of Cablevision, Rhonda Marchasa, my old friend, Marketing Director for Mid-Hudson Cablevision. And we also want to remind you that we'd like you to join this effort. Supporting these food pantries is terribly important. Call us, make a donation, send it in to us. You have the names, the numbers, the addresses. Join this effort. It's terribly important to do. And we'll see you again real soon on All the Right Connections.